Okay everyone, so I'm actually videoing here for one of my YouTube videos. I just decided to do a live stream anyway, just to demonstrate the welding process here. So it's quite tricky because at every point, every weld point, I have to make sure that this sidewall is clamped to the jig that I've formed. If I didn't, the sidewall would end up buckling. So I'm going to start my camera up here for YouTube, and I can't really talk through the live stream. Hopefully this works because there's two cameras on here and it's quite tricky. The process. So if I didn't have this screw here, the stresses within the sidewall would buckle, would end up in a V. So I need to be careful as I go around here. And I also need the face of the yard pushed down onto the sidewall. So I have, from this point now to this point, roughly done. There's a few missed that I'll get in the end up. So I need to turn this jig around now. Try and get the two cameras lined up again. That looks alright there. I was going to do a full video on the whole process forming the sidewall. Obviously, anybody that follows my channel will see that I've polished the mesh and the mirror quite a few times. There's quite a few live streams went up, I think it was 7. So now you can see things taking shape. So I'm going to start the other camera again for the video itself. Bill, let me go drink a water first. I'm making two fancy stainless steel guards for my big compressor that I built on my channel, single phase compressor. It has 2 stage pumps on it, 2 number, and the motors are 4 kilowatt each. So it's a really big single phase compressor. So I just need to be careful here because it's quite a tricky process, and as I say, if I start welding here with the stresses in it, I could end up buckling and falling apart. So I need to be sure that it's clamped well on the jig that I have formed here. So let's start the other camera up again just. And I can't really speak for it. But I will when I start the second camera. I'm going to call it the YouTube camera. Yeah, well, so it's the camera recorder itself, not my phone. So as I say, I was planning to do a full live stream on the making of the guard. I have another one to do, so I might do it yet. I'm not sure what I'm going to do. It's quite a tricky process. So I'm going to start her up again here. The camera itself. So obviously any compressor that you purchase is not going to have a guard like this on it. Definitely not a stainless steel. Mirror polish. So what I do here is I use a screwdriver then to adjust. So trying to weld at the point, at the position where the screw is, sort of not in between it. We don't want the guard to buckle. So just making sure my mic's on here for the YouTube. So as I say, anybody following the channel will have seen me polishing the mesh into this finish, this mirror finish. Nip the screw here. No matter with the screw. So I'm using the washers here to hold this in place. Okay, so this large radius is now nearly complete. Well, a couple of bars to do in between. We're going to move this earth clamp. Way over here in the way. So the straight part of the guard, I'm not going to be welding it on the jig. The reason being is when I remove the guard from the jig, I want to clamp it with two pieces of aluminium boxer, just to ensure it's straight, because the jig's made out of timber at the end of the day, and the mesh would end up digging in with these blocks into the timber because it's kind of soft. So I want to make sure that the straight part of the guard from this small radius to this larger radius is straight. So we'll clamp back, but we'll do that in the end. I'll keep our lip here. The blocks at the top are to push the face down nice and tight. This mesh actually needs to go up a wee bit. Get a flat screwdriver. Delicate. So no filler rod is required because I have left this top face, the bars protruding past the centre of the sidewall. So hopefully that makes sense. The bars are sort of flush with the bar that I'm welding to, rather than sort of centre or on the other side of it. So that's me now. The large radius is complete. Well, it's not going to move from this point forward because it's welded every 3 or 4 bars, or 3. So I'm now going to move on to the smaller radius. I have another one of these guards to do it, believe it or not. And a lot of work ahead of me. Just going to stop the other camera. Okay, so I'll turn this right round. Going to have to remove these blocks here. Just make sure that the phone's on it. So I can't really move the phone at a better angle here because the camera is taking that angle. So the tin foil is to keep, when I go to weld the guard at this point, obviously there's timber behind it. So the tin foil is there to keep the gum and the wood from burning and staining the actual stainless, because it'll be very hard to clean in this corner. So it's basically just thick tin foil from asphalt. Okay, so if we start screwing again with the washer, then I'm going to start the camera right now. Hi, it looks like a guitar. The girlfriend actually says that when she's seen it, but it's definitely not a guitar. There's stainless steel is quite hard to work compared to wood. It's actually one of the hardest metals to work with. It's easy to start it, easily pulls and all, and you weld it and you put heat under it. Okay, we'll start again now. Start the camera recorder. So these washers, these screws are important. And the adjustment of them is important too. So I'm going to start now with the smaller radius and work my way around here. Not going to weld every bar, but I'm going to weld quite a few of them, quite a number of them. So see these bars, the way I can move them and letting them fall into place. So I could sit here and measure every one of them at the bottom to make sure they're 10 mil. But it's just too much work. That's going overboard, isn't it? Oh yeah, we need the clamp again. We need that little plate. Okie dokie, let's go. Let's start here. We'll put a more screw in it. So making sure when I'm putting the washer on that the round end of the washer is not digging into the stainless that I've polished. Because obviously the washer is just pressed out with a sharp edge. So I'm really going into detail here. Making sure that the screw doesn't hit the stainless. Keeping the gas on, keep the weld nice and clean. Outside can be polished again if need be. So I'm just going to move the camera recorder, not the phone, just over a wee bit. So I'm getting this into view for the YouTube video. That will do here. Drink of water. So slope downs on to remove any pinholes. This bar's a wee bit proud. Not anymore. So the direction of the torch is important here. I don't want to be blowing the welder in this way. I want to be sort of at a 45-degree angle. So I'm sort of pushing the top bars down into the wall itself, the bar in the wall. So now I'm going to move on around here. We'll get that in. We'll put that at about there somewhere. Okay, so I stopped the camera recorder here for YouTube. I'm gonna now continue on actually. Then we're gonna lift it off. So hopefully it comes off, hopefully it doesn't shrunk with the weld pulling the wall in. So they look good, so let's put a screw inside it. Just start the camera. So we're nearly halfway around this smaller perimeter, or smaller radius, smaller circle. So this bar at the end here is has no support, so I need to make sure that the distance at this point from his bar to this bar is the same at this point. I hope that makes sense. So we use a burner. Okay, so at this point it's 9.8 and at this point it's 9.45, so I need to step this out to 9.8. It'll probably pull with the welder a wee bit anyway, so hopefully it doesn't. 9.75, but I'll take a chance. There's no screw in there, it's important. You know what? I'm going to leave this bar until the rest is welded. Just in case a wee bit of tension goes at this point and pushes it out here, that will increase this gap. Move it on to the other side here now. We'll still these screws. Then we'll lift it off. The clamp's going to fall in the welder. Okay, so that position looks well, so I need to move the two cameras here. Hopefully the quality of my Wi-Fi is good because I'm out in the garage. I have boosters, two boosters there, but they're not that great at times. So let's see our lead started on the way here for the live stream. Oh, thank you. Don't know how to pronounce your name, Edward. Thank you. Okay, so I'm going to keep rocking here. The sweat is literally running off my face. So this lead to this camera's in the way, so what do I see at how charged it is? That'll be alright. So I don't want to be affecting the live stream either. Affecting the view. So we're working the side now to this point, which is the straight where the circle ends. So the big circle ends at this point, and the wee circle ends at this point. So I'm not welding the straight part because I'm doing this out of the jig. So if anyone didn't grasp it or wasn't on, what I'm going to do here is take the guard out of the jig, and we're going to clamp it with 2 pieces of box iron. I had another piece of vanished. Don't know where it went. It's actually just disappeared. But anyway, 2 aluminium box iron, pieces of aluminium box iron will be used to keep this part of the guard straight rather than dependent on the jig that I have made, because the jig is obviously made out of plywood. It's not that arched. It's alright for the large radius and the small radius, but not for the straight part of the guard here. So hopefully when I weld to this point, I'm keeping check on it. I'm just going to turn this other camera off. I'm keeping check on it because I've already explained it on the camera itself. Well, I don't know if I have, but actually I'll just start her up. Okay, as I say, for this final part of the guard here, I'm continuing the welds around this smaller radius. Then I'm going to stop where the small circle ends. I'm not going to be welding the straight part of the guard here because I'm going to be using 2 pieces of aluminium out of the jig to keep this straight. I might tack it in a couple of places with the aluminium box iron, and then I might put the guard back on the jig to keep this space down nice and tight to the sidewall. So hopefully that makes sense. I'm going to move on here. Push it down this way a wee bit, might fall off the bench. That'll be alright. Just going to move this for one onto position here. Okie dokie, so ready to off again. So remember, I'm stopping here, and we're going to lift it off the jig itself, and hopefully it comes off because it might have shrunk with the welding here. I don't think it has because I can see quite a wee bit of a gap here that I want to get rid of. Actually, I'm going to keep this one on. Need more screws. So again, we're going to be using these wee washers. Need to make sure to keep the sharp end away from the stainless so that it doesn't mark it. So we'll put a screw here. Oh, too much. Maybe not. Maybe right. Gonna put another couple on. So these screws and washers are really important here at the tight radius because there's a lot more force at this point than there is over at the larger radius. I will do a live stream later on the day, starting the other guard, to show me forming the sidewall. I was planning to do one video here, but it would take far too long. That looks good. So when I'm putting the stress into this radius, I need to make sure that I could still get, that I'm still able to get this part off the sidewall nice and straight. So there's no stresses in at this point, so it's not like a banana, because if it's like a banana, well, the sidewall will be too long. But I have the sidewall created in the band. I created the band on the jig, and it's turning out quite well here. So we're going to keep on welding here. Not happy with this bar here, it seems to be yanked down a wee bit. Might need a screw in here actually. I mightn't bother welding this yet because, well, I actually cut a wee bit off that bar and I shouldn't have. Should have left it alone. You got a filler rod required for them 2 bars that I cut. So anyway, we'll move on. Got to put one on here too. Oh, I got the groove. I don't know why I cut them, because they were done using template, and on the looks of it, the template was perfect. So I got carried away there at that point, but it's okay, they're still sitting in the middle of the bar. Sidewall. So going to leave those ones. I'm going to add a bit of filler later on. So where are we at now? Going to weld this one. And we're going to yank this down with this block. Just need to lift the guard a bit at this point. That will do. No pedal. You think it's a guitar? The see-through guitar. Okay, so we need a wee bit of filler up here at this point. A wee bit of wire, mic wire. Okay, that's alright. Okay, so go ahead and remove all these screws. Well, I don't know, I might weld this one. Yeah, go ahead and weld it. And I might just go ahead. No, I'll leave it alone. Try and screw this on a bit. That's actually tight. Okay, so what I'm going to do here now is I'm going to remove this from the jig. So I have to remove all the screws. So I'm going to stop the camera for a minute here. The other camera. I'm going to get a drink of water because I'm sweating. Probably will polish all those welds, you know, when I'm finished. So now we're going to move on to the straight parts of the guard. I should be started the camera here. Hopefully this comes off the jig. And if it doesn't come off, well, I'll rip it off. All screwed out. It's tight. As expected. Might be going back on the jig. If I get it off. That's funny. It's not coming off. No, I'll get it off. So move all these screws. There we go. There we go. Isn't that beautiful? Okay, so what I'll do here is I'll flip this jig upside down, use it as a platform. Then move all these screws, blocks. So the rest of this now might be done off the jig. We'll see the crack. Then move on to the other one. So the tin foil is there to, what do I say here? See the way you can see the burnt marks? If that tin foil wasn't there, that residue in the gum and the glue and the wood would run out with smoke, and it would discolour the stainless itself. So we're going to now finish this off using 2 screw gauges rather than the jig. I'm not going to depend on the jig for these 2 parts. So we'll flip it over the body here. And those grooves are there to allow the bars running perpendicular to the ones being welded to sit in, so the face sits flush. So the guard is at a depth of 80 mm from this point to this point, here to here. It does look like a guitar now, it's out right enough. So we'll save these because we have another guard to do. Okay, here we go. Just stopping the other camera. Okay, so I now have to clamp it. We'll see how it goes here. We might need to put it back on the jig, I'm not sure. Just moving this other camera out of the way. Not sure how much longer I'm going to run the live stream because it's going on now quite a long time. So 2 pieces of aluminium box. We start the other camera. 2 clamps. Just starting it here. 2 seconds. It's only 2 bars on it. So we'll see how this works out here. It might have to go back on the jig, I'm not sure yet. Okay, so the idea is to have this grey box iron here, or aluminium box iron, powder coated, and we're going to cut this one here, we're going to clamp it, keep it nice and straight. Then we're going to start welding the top face to the sidewall, rather than depending on the jig. Better to flip that upside down. So keeping it at the straight part where the 2 circles end, the 2 large radiuses, this small radius and this large one. Okay, so that looks good. So you got the gist. Rather than dependent on the jig, 2 pieces of box iron instead. So what I'm going to do here now is I'm going to flip this around and start welding it every so often here. So this end still needs to be done too. Okay, so just stopping the other camera. Might get a wee break here. Or I might keep it going. Need the air flap. So this camera needs plugged in again. The other one. So the phone's looking okay. So I need to move these cameras into a different position here. The phone. Hi everyone. Okay, so we'll set the phone here for this stage, and I'm going to move the camera around because the both of them's on my way. Okay, so I'm ready to rock again now. Just getting a look at this first. So I'm going to need to push down on this, each one of these bars when I'm welding. It's not easy. I might put a bit of weight on it actually. That's a better position there now. Okay, there we go. Just run the 8 in it. That's looks good. It's hard to get it completely perfect, but it's not looking bad. So I just need to be careful. Well, it is. It is ground. Okay, I'm ready to rock again. I'm gonna put the clamp on. somewhere it's not going to interfere. Can't put it on this because there's spider coating on it. There we go. Right, let's get started. I have to start the other camera, and I have to speak everything again. So hopefully I don't mess up. Okay, so I've added 2 pieces of box iron at this point to ensure that the sidewall is straight between the smaller radius and the larger radius. So here we go to start welding again. You want these nice and clean because this is the top of the guard. Actually, have to sharpen this needle here. Give me a second and I'll be back and just go outside the garage. When I say needle, I mean tungsten. Okay, so we're ready to rock again here now. Just getting set up. Okay, so when this is welded, I'm going to put it back in the jig. I just decided to do that. I don't know why, but I'm just going to put it back in, see if it fits. And to weld the rest of them just. Did he start this? That's already running. So the box iron is doing its job. Okay, so there's 4 tacks. Someone's quite hard to push down. The mesh isn't perfectly flat. So the welder, the torch is a bit dodgy. Need to get it fixed. Okay, so that's quite a number of them there now. Do a few more. Just I need a bit of weight there at that point. Do you know what I might do? Make it another clamp here. I don't know if this is going to work, but it might help. No. It's not going to work. I'm just going to have to use my hand here. There we go. Wow, here. Okay. We'll go for one here. Okay, so I'm going to do the rest off camera here. Not the live stream. Camera. The second camera set up here. Just going to bring it up nice and close. So I'm going to finish this off camera. So it's looking well. Okay, so that's one camera out of the way. It's hard enough using one camera, but when you're using two. So it's a guard for a compressor. The compressor that I built. There's two of them, actually. There's two backs and there's two faces. Haven't got to the backs yet. It's made out of stainless steel. I'm going to finish this off now on the live stream rather than having this other camera stuck in the way. I'm going to do a few of them. I still have to do the other end yet. The other straight part of the guard. Go much faster now with our camera going. Okay, so there one there, I could do that. I'll just make sure that the camera's in view. It is. Right, okay. I could do this one, the wiggly one there, it has no support. This bar is not continuing right through. So I can do more talking now because the other camera is out of the way. So I've discussed everything already at the beginning of this process. So each one of these bars is sort of protruding past the perimeter, the area of the sidewall. So this, I don't need welding rod for this reason. So I have planned ahead here. So I'm going to do the other end here now. For the belt and wheels so it doesn't, yeah. doesn't not only a child, anybody. I don't really have, well, any children on the way, apart from my own. Right, this clamps in the way. So I'm going to move this other camera because I don't want to drop it. Wrecking the place. I'll set it down here. Okie dokie, so back around to the side again. We don't have much room in here because I'm working on the small part of the garage. So it's looking quite well. I'll take it back from the camera. So let's end now. What do you see if I look through the phone here? You know what I'll do? I'll lift it up a wee bit. I'll just take the phone off the stand. Okay, so if you look down this now, it should be nice and straight. I'll take it outside. Hold on a wee minute. Okay. So this is a long knife stream. So if you look down this now, don't worry about the inside, worry about the outside. So I can work all this with my hands, but at this point we can't work because it's welded. So I've used these two pieces of box iron to ensure that this part of the guard is straight. I now need to move on to this part. So you can see there's a gap. So I'll take it back on here to the garage. I'll just set it down here a minute so you can see it. What it looks like. So there we go. I'm going to go back in now. So this is only one part of the guard. There's 4 parts. Well, there's 2 parts for each pumping station. So there is the 2 box irons that I'm using to keep this part of the guard nice and straight. I now need to move on to this side. But first, I just want to point out. So there's the compressor that I built. So here is the backing panel for the guards. So I'll just move. I might as well demonstrate this because this is a live stream. This is not a video for the channel. So what we have now is this backing plate. And this backing plate will slide down. See behind the on pulleys on the pump? It will slide, I will cut a slot and I'll cut a center, I'll put a center of this large diameter here at this point, and I'll cut a slot to allow the guard to slide down between the pulley and the pump or the motor. So it'll slide down between the shaft. Northern Irishman. Yeah. So the plan is to then fix the guard to the backing plate, and the backing plate will have a bar. See them flat bars over under? They will be shaped so that the guard fits onto the backing plate. The flat bars will be drilled and tapped, and a couple of wee dome head stainless screws will be used to fix this guard to the backing plate. What's wrong with an Irishman, or Corey Bradley? No response? Okay, so I'm going to move on. Not many other Irishmen building projects like mine. Mr. Corey Brown. Okay, so I'm going to move on here now, and as I say, this will mount directly to the backing plate. I'm going to continue on welding this one first. Oh, I thought you had something against them, the way he says it there. I was thinking there's not much wrong with an Irish person, or Northern Irish one. Okay, so, ready to rock. So here's the join. So here's the join where the band is joined. At 2 points. This point, and I can't find it. At this point, you might be able to see there. It's quite dark in this garage today. So, as you know, there's a small part and a big part to the band. You can see how flat it sits to the jig, so it's perfect. I'm going to continue on now welding this part off the guard. I may as well just keep her going here because well, I have another one to do. So another live stream will appear maybe in about 2 hours time when I've got some date, and that live stream will be the forming of the second guard. So that's creating this sidewall. I'm not going to go into detail or anything on the welding because well, I've done it in this live stream, attaching this face. Well, I've sort of demonstrated maybe welding part of it. I didn't demonstrate putting the face on. I might do that in another live stream, but I'm not sure. So much work in this, and it needs my full concentration because at the end of the day it's stainless steel and it's quite hard to work at times. Not hard to work, but you know, things can go wrong. It's not my style. Okay, so here we go. Flip this over the body again. Now we're going to clamp this to make this part of the guard straight from this circle, this smaller radius, to this larger radius. I know I'm repeating myself for anyone that's been on quite a while, so just for any newbies. Right, so clamping it close to the small circle. So I'm not going to depend on the jig, as I say, to keep this straight because we're working with timber, and when I clamp it to the timber, it tends to squash the stainless into the actual timber itself, and it doesn't keep it straight. It's not to say the jig's not cut or sanded perfectly, it is, but the timber's soft. No, it's not. No, it's actually. Thank goodness somebody asked that. So, Corey, the mesh that I'm using here is bought from Alco in Belfast, and it's an 8x4 sheet, and it's £200 plus VAT, and the profile of the mesh is 3 inches by half inch, and it's an 8x4 sheet, as I say, and I didn't get much out of the sheet. I've got a few scraps left over. So if you can imagine, there's 4 of these pieces, and there's 2 long strips of 2 meters long, so I didn't get very much. I have a few cuttings left over. I demonstrate the cutting of that in my video, the video that I will up here on my channel. So there you go. Now that's me pulling that in nice and straight. I should be doing this. Well, might just start the other camera up, you know, and just do this. 2 seconds. The other camera is not fully charged. That's the only problem. So I'm going to bring the other camera on here, and then I'm going to get started at this here again, welding this. Oh dear, the camera's in the ground. Hold on. Like the sun's not even shining outside, it's quite muggy in the garage here. Okay, so I'm setting this camera up, 2 seconds. There we go, so I'm ready to rock again. Okay, so on to the second straight part of the guard here. So I'm using these 2 pieces of box iron, aluminium box iron again, and we're going to clamp them. So where the big circle ends and where the wee circle ends. Okay, so making sure that the clamp's not pushing up in the face where we're sitting proud. Okay, there we go. So that worked out really well there. Should we start welding this now? So it's obviously going to be hard to get it bang on perfect. It is perfect, but it's not, you just have to work it with your hands, you know. So when I push at this point now, because it's a band, it pushes out at this point. So I don't want to have this point pushed out too much, because I have to weld this bar to this one yet. As you can see, there's piles of room. It's not, the bar is actually sitting in the middle of the sidewall. So I'll just get started now here. Making sure this is nice and tight, the straight part of the guard. So this is the bottom of the compressor. So I'm going to continue on here. Just looking at this, checking it first before I start welding anything. I need a big weight to sit there. So, yeah, but go ahead. This TIG torch is playing up switch. I think it's a broken wire or a broken cable. There we go. So I'm just going to position this phone a wee bit. 2 cameras running here, as I say. We need the earth clamp. This one will soon be finished, and then we'll move on to the other one after tea, in our live stream. I'm not going to demonstrate welding the face on, but I will demonstrate forming the wall, the side wall, around the dig. Do you know something? I might put this back in the jig. It's a bit rusty. I can't really because I need this straight edge on. Alright, no, it's not going back in the jig yet. So I'll keep our look here. What about our weld here at this point, if I can push them? Ah. I'm happy with it. 2 seconds. Let's see what I'm going to do here. I'm not very pleased with that at all. I need to go back in the jig, you know. It's lovely and straight, but there's a wee bit of tension on the band at where I don't want it. So here, when that straight piece is on it, it starts to buckle out here a wee bit. So what I'm going to do here is give it one more shot. And if it doesn't work, it's going back in the jig. Wait, stop this other camera. The jig's upside down at the moment. So I need to make sure I don't sharp screws in this because it will mark my finish. There's one there. It's down, but it's a wee bit bright. I need to grind it. Try clapping this one more time. And if it doesn't work, just go back on the jig. I'll get a look at the comments in a moment, just. Okay, let's get a look at this one more time. That's the wrong thing. That one. No. Should be the other side. This side. That's the way it looked better. So I need to get a rubber valve here because there's a problem. So at this point where I put the straight edge on, it left a wee bit of, you can see a V there, a wee could have it. That could be worked when the straight bit's welded. But you know something? I think that I'm actually a wee bit, maybe, no it's not, sorry, right. Try it again. So as you can see, it's kind of tricky to do this. Should have just kept it in the jig, you know, well. In the jig, you'll end up having in there along the straight edge. So this is the bottom of the guard. When the guard's mounted to the compressor, you can imagine it standing up. You're not going to see it, but I'll know it's there. This looks better this time, why that? That's strange, isn't it? Okay, so you're allowed, well, maybe 2 or 3 of them, and then we'll put it back in the jig, and we can work it in the jig. We could tap it if we need be. That well's a wee bit grey, but it's alright. We'll get it cleaned, polished maybe, we'll see the crack. But let me read these comments a wee moment here. Yeah, that's a pulley guard for this compressor, Corey. So it's a tandem, but it's not a tandem that you buy, it's a tandem that I have put together. So you can't buy it the way I've made it. So it's 2 big 25 CFM pumps. Just position this phone and get started again here. Does that look alright? Okay. So I'm going to keep a look here. I'm going to weld this because if I don't, I'll be here till 6 o'clock. Long guard. Oh dear. I actually got nupped there now. Through there, through that machine that I'm taking the clamp off. Okay. A wee shock. So I'll keep her lit here. Hopefully this torch doesn't messing about, you know, too. As long as it doesn't mess about when I'm using the camera recorder. So let's do this. That actually looks alright now. I don't get that. Right. Looks perfect. Right, so I'm going to weld a couple of these and we're going to move on. Start this camera up again, this camera recorder, not the phone. I need a weight there though. Where would I get a weight? Oh yeah. It's too heavy, is it? That would only be it. Oh. That's not heavy. The battery right. Right. Believe it or not, everything's nearly right on the floor. That's not good. So I'll bring this over a wee bit. That'll work. Why don't I just make sure these cameras are in position? Yeah, they're right. Okay, so the two straight edges are on, one inside, one outside. And I'm going to attack this. I'm getting shocked in my arm here. Melt the battery or some crap. That clamp's actually pushing up on it. Would you believe it? That clamp's actually pushing up. There we go. Okay. Right. Oh. Or not. Okay, so I can put this back in the jig now. Am I missing a couple here? Yes. Oh, there's the thing torch again. So there's quite a number of them there down there now. It's looking really neat. Okay, so I'll take it off, take the clamp off now. So that's one guard complete. Well, like the rest of them have gone out of the jig. So what I'm going to do here is start on the other one. But we'll try this in the jig first. Just going to move the camera back here. Okay, so it's not easy here. We're working between two cameras. One for the live stream and one for the YouTube video itself. So it's 4K, so it's much better quality. Okay, so we'll set this over the body. The jig. And then I'm going to get up and I'm going to go and get something to eat. So I'll bring the phone into view here. So if you look there now, there's a nice straight edge down it to where it meets the larger radius, and we have the smaller the radius. Okay, so I put the camera on the stand, and what I'm going to do here is I'm going to flip the jig over the body. So the jig is the wooden piece, and then I'm going to go on and get something to eat. And then I'm going to come back out and I'm going to start the other one. So I'll flip this over the body. I'll start the other camera. Okay, so I'm just going to test fit the guard now to the jig to make sure it still fits. When I say jig, this piece of copper, so it's obviously going to be very tight. Oh, no, that's perfect. Okay, so I can work it now where it needs to be worked. It's actually expanded a wee bit, but that doesn't matter. I can work the flat bar on the backing panels to match it. Isn't that strange? No, it hasn't expanded. I need to push it down full with there. There now. It's perfectly the same size. So it's down nice and tight at this point. That was I was puzzled there. Right, when I got a mallet. So there's a wee bit here needs work. Basically, just do that. Hit that into the jig. And that wee bit now is perfect. So the reason that weld went a wee bit dirty is because it burnt through the aluminium foil at this point. Let me see. So see the way the temper is all burnt? Well, that's the reason. I don't know why it burnt through there, it didn't burn through anywhere else. Maybe I had the torch directed in because the bar was a wee bit too far away. But I'll be able to fix that. I'll polish it and do more. Maybe add pickle and paste. Or I can even go over the top of it again once I clean the corrosion off it. Be a wee sand on this. So what I'm going to do here now is I'm going to finish up here. I'm going to stop this camera and I'm going to start the second gear off camera. So it's looking well. Okay, so the video is now complete off that stage. So if you look at the gear there now, you can see it sits nice and neat and true to the actual jig. And there's not even a mill gap there. So what worked out really well, the two pieces of box iron, wherever they went, they're lying there on the floor. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop this live stream because it's going on an hour and a half. That's mental. That's the longest live stream ever. Then I'm going to go on and get something to eat, and I'm going to come back out and I'm going to start the second guard. And I will do a live stream on it because I've got it videoed already on the other camera. So thank you for watching, everyone. Goodbye.